high-profile musician, let's just say, started looking at some of my materials on Flat Earth. As a result, he started looking into the Torah. As a result, he started attending my virtual house church. Now, this is a guy that's really up there in the hip hop genre, which is like so opposite, like who I am. I'm the white guy, can't, dance or, do do anything. So this other rapper, B.O.B., I think was his name, started becoming vocal about Flat Earth. And so, this guy that I'm not going to mention his name, but he saw what that guy was looking into. He's like, what is this? So he looked into that, and then he stumbled on my stuff, stumbled on Torah, started studying the Torah, started attending my virtual house church, then realized he needed to get saved, got saved. And they said, well, if I'm going to get baptized, I'm going to do it right. So he got on a plane and flew to Israel and got baptized in the Jordan River. And he told me, I'm sitting in this very expensive car, with Sheila, going, how does this happen? He goes, I kid you not. I said, I came up out of being baptized. And he said, the only word I got was bring Rob Skiba to Amsterdam. I'm like, okay. So, and that was just God has got such a crazy sense of humor. I'm giving this presentation in a venue called the Milky Way. All right. Now, the Milky Way venue had multiple different stages where concerts were taking place, like 5 different concerts taking place. And if you could have seen the marquee, right? Like the marquee is like all these yo-yo hip hop, dudes. And there's like my goofy picture from Skiba. So I'm in this place, I'm talking like this stuff. And it was pretty soundproof, so we couldn't hear what was outside and stuff. But every time they open the doors, like all this pot smoke comes in, and all this music, and I'm like, what in the how does this happen? But I'm like, okay, God, whatever, he called me specifically to talk about the stuff that I've been talking about this weekend. So that's what I did. And the crazy thing was he got booked on a Tonight Show kind of thing that night, that he's under contract with record labels and stuff. And he had to do that. So he couldn't even attend the conference that he paid for Sheila and I to go to, but a whole lot of other people did. And it was really interesting because I had known about this, that the moon rocks were first exposed as frauds by them in the Netherlands. Now, the Apollo astronauts went around and the big publicity tour at the time, back in the 60s, giving various people in positions of royalty and whatnot, leadership, moon rocks. Well, they decided at one point they wanted to take an insurance policy out on it. So, of course, as part of doing the insurance policy thing, they start analyzing it, and they found out the thing's petrified wood. Now, I'm at this venue, the Milky Way, and I find out that this museum is literally like a couple of blocks down the road. So I'm going to go there. So Sheila and I went there, and we get to the information desk, and they weren't even aware that they had the thing. I'm like, this is supposed to be one of the most significant achievements of all of humanity. You would think you'd have that center display with, like a halo right over it, and the angels floating over it, pointing at it. Like, look at what we did, No, they had it tucked away in a warehouse somewhere, like in Indiana Jones, They said that. It's tucked away in a warehouse. You have to get special appointment and blah, blah, blah. She had to actually look it up. They had it.